And the more I give in things, like the more, but I got it. I got my MWBE. And as much tedious work it was, and headache, and running around, and phone calls, I did it because I knew the value of having that and being able to bid on $1 million, $1 billion projects. We're not talking about little money. We're talking about large money that could actually bring real opportunities, employment to the people who work for me. Right? That's like a construction company. You know, to give you an example of an MWBE, it's almost, think of it like, and small businesses to do it. Just think of it like a barbershop. You have your local barbershop. I know the barbershop in my hood, like the main barber was Junior. Okay. Junior, we went to school with. Junior, everybody knew Junior. Everyone cuts. Junior cuts everyone's hair. You know, my son is only one, but Junior's gonna cut my son's hair because you just don't trust nobody else, right? Unless that's my cousin or somebody, or his father or someone like that. And Junior can get all his money from people in the hood. But Junior can become a minority business owner. If he has a woman on staff, he could become a woman on part of the company. He could become a MWB, women in business. What that means is the local hospitals may need a barber to come in and cut for the sick and shut-in, for the elderly. And he can get that contract, $100,000 contract, $200,000 contract, to come in twice a week, him and his barbers, and cut their hair. And that's an automatic paycheck to his bank account contract, in addition to having his shop. And that's a contract that he will do. So these people in this room left and said, oh, we don't want to be bothered with this. This is too much work. But that's an opportunity that you could have taken your little mom and pop barbershop to a whole nother level. You know, I always tell people it's two parts of business. It's seeing the vision. Like whenever I see things when it comes to real estate, I see bigger than what, like I don't think small. I think huge. But also, it's believing you can achieve it. That's the second part of it. Like you could see the vision, but if you don't believe you can achieve it, or is ready to do what you got to do to achieve it, sleepless nights, then it's not going to happen. And I think that's basically what has to happen to show the people that real estate is big business. Jason, this is the biggest. This is big. No matter what country you go to, there's two things. It's always the same issue: gun violence and real estate. Those are the two biggest issues. If you don't have a house,
where you going? Where you living?
Where you living? Where do you live? I remember telling people that the first bill that my parents paid when I went to school, when I was growing up, is the rent or the mortgage. We didn't get no shoes. We didn't take no trips. We didn't even get groceries until that rent or mortgage was paid. So that's not a me issue or a O'Connor family issue. That's an everybody issue. If you don't have the stability of a home, what do you have? If you can't go home someplace at night and open a fridge and boil a pot of water, or jump in a shower, or lay in a bed, your whole life is unstable. So now to see that people are coming and taking that from us, whether they're stealing it from us, which they're doing, or they are taking it from us in a way because we have lack of knowledge. They say, the Bible says, my people shall perish because of lack of knowledge. And I'm afraid, and I guess this is to answer your question, I'm afraid not what's going to happen in 2 years or 3 years or 4 years. What's going to happen by the end of the year if the home ownership rate amongst people of color keeps decreasing like it is. 30,000 people in New York City facing foreclosure. The homeless rate in New York City went from 60,000 to 63,000. And what a lot of people don't understand is that 63,000 is not the full homeless rate. That's just the people checking into the shelter. You still have people sleeping in the trains. You still have people sleeping on people's sofas. Right? Those people are homeless too. You still have people sleeping in their cars. You still have people who are sleeping in hotels night to night. So that homeless rate is way beyond 63,000. But the people being affected the most is us. What's going to happen to us in a couple of months? Like, that's what I'm afraid of. You want water or anything?
Yeah. It's good stuff.
I mean, it's real. It's like, I'm sitting in the... We were in a community board last night. They're voting on liquor licenses. They were arguing for like 30 minutes on somebody getting a liquor license, which you're not supposed to get because they're right next to a school. But yet I had to stand up. I had to say, listen, we are losing our homes. Like, people are coming to me literally every day telling me that they're losing their homes, either because they can't pay it, someone stole it from them, or something. And we are here fighting over a liquor license only in this community. So it's like, where do we go from now?
Now, that's a good question. That just made me think of a good question. Do you think that's the case because folks are more reliant on the government and not being self-efficient enough to really deal with the problem head on, alone?
I don't think so. I don't think it has anything to do with the government. I think it's more so we don't know where to get this information. Like, I've spoken to well-educated people. I've spoken to elected officials. They don't know redlining, right? So what is redlining? Redlining is, once again, don't quote me on the day. We got to find the actual dates of when banks would put maps on their wall. Mortgage companies would put maps on their wall. And the reason they call it redlining is because they would literally take out a red pen and they would mark an area on a map and say, I want you to deny all the loans in this area. Do not give Black and Hispanics, if they come for this, you give them the hurdle and deny that loan, because we don't want Blacks and Hispanics moving into those areas, right? So then they would come in for the loans, and the loans would be denied. But what happened now was reverse redlining. Banks put maps on the walls and said, we want these homes. But the problem is, they're not going to sell us these homes for what we'll buy it for. Right. These homes are worth $1 million in Bed-Stuy. We're not buying it for $1 million. So what we're going to do is the people who have their homes and had them for years, we're going to put them in refinance loans that they can't afford. And we're going to take people who have no income and have no education, and we're going to sell them houses in these areas. Give them about 2 years. They'll be foreclosing. Because they can't make it.
Can't make it.
And when they can't make these loans, and they foreclose, and they short sale, we'll pick them up for almost half the price. And that's how we're going to acquire these homes. We're going to have them lose the homes in order for us to acquire them. And that's the reverse redlining, pointing out basically where you want them to get the homes so you can take them. So it's lack of education. The more I learn about real estate, something as simple as renter's insurance, right? We're renters, and you rent an apartment and you don't get renter's insurance, and God forbid your apartment catches on fire, you get nothing. But renter's insurance is $12 a month. They will literally write you a check for $30,000 to cover everything. Can you imagine losing all your material things? Do not matter, yes. Yeah. But at the end of the day, if you are someone that has children, you have to buy back all those clothes, all those books, all those beds and furniture and pots and pans and plates. So imagine you lost the fire, you lost all that because you didn't want to pay $12 a month, or you didn't know. You didn't know that if you paid $12 a month on top of your car insurance, not only would they cover all your materials in the house, but they would put you and your family in a secure hotel until you found placement. That's lack of knowledge that our people don't know when it comes to housing. With housing being such a big thing, we are losing. Then let's go to the investment part of it. Why are we paying rent? Why is someone paying $1,700 a month in rent when you could be owning your home property for $1,700 a month? You're paying that money when your lease is up in a year. You just spend all that money and you get none of it back. Whereas if you had purchased your property, you don't have to leave. And you've just put money in the bank, basically. But we're not thinking like that. We're thinking as renters. We're not thinking investment. So
It's good stuff. It's good stuff. I guess we'll save the steps for change later. So I'm trying to think of what else we could put in the introduction.
I think more to spark people, we want to talk more about what is more of the value of real estate.
Wow, okay.
Like why real estate, right? I always give this example when I'm teaching that, the CD player, the DVD player, not the DVD player, the VHS
okay.
was out. And whoever invented it, I don't know who invented it, but whoever invented it must have been so happy when it came out. You have this new invention, it's flying off the shelves. I mean, you have everyone's using it. You have all these. I remember the Blockbuster and all these mom and pop places that would rent it, and you would have to. This is Be Kind, Rewind, and they must have been so excited. But me, I would have been like, no. Because after that, something else is going to come out, right? And now it's like nobody uses it anymore, right? And then the CD player, the DVD player came out. And it was like, oh my gosh, this is the big thing. And you would have a whole stand in the corner of your house with all the DVDs and all. And I would still be like, that doesn't impress me. Because something else is going to come out, right? But the thing with real estate is, it doesn't go out of business. You can't. Because everyone needs real estate. Everyone needs buildings. You go to any part of the world, you're going to find property. You're going to find real estate that someone needs. So me, I'm the provider of that. I'm the broker who brings those two together and gets those people to have the two of them. That's why this is one of the biggest businesses, because you are providing something everyone needs.
It's not just service, it's a foundation.
It's a foundation. It's like water, right? Everyone, I wear glasses just like you. Everyone doesn't need glasses, right? Everyone doesn't wear jewelry. Everyone doesn't drive cars, right? But every single person needs a home. And you have to think about it when you're thinking about a home. Are you on the losing side or are you on the winning side? Are you on the side of the person knocking on the door saying, I need my rent? Or are you the person saying, where's my rent money? Right? You go get an apartment right now and you want to paint your apartment blue or red or green or black. They tell you no. But if you owned it,
do whatever you want.
You could do whatever you want with it. One of the hardest things is moving. And unless you have moved, you do not know how hard it is to move. Like I remember going to college. When I went away to college, I needed everything. Like I brought so much stuff with me to college. And when the year was over, the semester was over and I had to go back, it was just like, oh, I got to pack up all these things. That's nothing compared to moving a whole family. I had a client call me and tell me that they got into an apartment 2 years ago. Now the landlord sold the building and they got to move again now. So you're talking about first month's rent, security, broker fee. You got to get a truck. You got to get moving people. You know, if